What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be going over the Nightblade tank for Elsweyr. Now, I love tanking on Nightblade. It is absolutely fun. And after the Zap tank it wasn't so much fun, but in the last few patches I've definitely been enjoying this setup, this layout. I've used it every patch since, and here's how. After testing, I'll still be using it for Elsweyr, but let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Now, I am an Imperial, so keep that in mind. I get some max health, max damage from my racial passes. So, I have 21.8k max magicka, 33.3k maximum health. So close to that 3333 all the way across the board. Maximum stamina is 26.5, magic recovery is 1.4k, 18 points into magicka, 46 into health. Resistances unbuffed is 20k spell and 21.1 physical. The boon I'm running is the Atro, and then I'm using basic tri-stat food. Champion points. Again, on most blues don't really matter on most tanks. So red, I have 28 into Ironclad, 16 into Spell Shield, 13 into Thick Skin, 64 Hardy, 64 Elemental Defender, 34 into Heavy Armor Focus, 23 into Quick Recovery, and 28 into Bastion. 19 Sprinter, 23 Bashing Focus, 64 Arcanus, 64 Tenacity, 66 into Shadow Ward, and 34 into Tumbling. Now, sets. The monster set that I'm running is Blood Swan. The reason I'm running everything, all small pieces sturdy, all large pieces heads, chests, legs infused, all with tri-stat glyphs. We're running Blood Spawn for the first set, medium helmet, light shoulders, and these can be switched up. You can run a light helmet, medium shoulders if you want. It's up to you. Now, what Blood Spawn does, it gives us stamina recovery, which isn't really necessarily that important because you're not going to be restoring stamina while you're blocking. The two-piece, when you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 14 ultimate and increase your physical and spell resistance by 6.4k for 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 6 seconds. Or we really want it for the ulti regen. With the ulti regen on Nightblade, it allows us to continuously just proc our ultimate. Plus, with some of the passes, we get ultimate back quickly, which makes these two-piece sets work wonders together. The first 5-piece set that we're running is Automated Defense. Now, this comes from Halls of Fabrication, and it can be farmed on normal. Now, what this set does is that it gives us maximum health, gives us minor Aegis, reducing our damage taken from dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 5%, adds 4% healing taken, and when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 20 meters of you gain major Aegis for 10 seconds, reducing your damage taken from dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 15%. This helps out a lot. I mean, at first I was running Dragon Guard, which what Dragon Guard does, it gives us magic recovery, healing taken, maximum health, and reduce the cost of your ultimates by 15%. Now that was allowing us to proc the other 5-piece set extremely fast. And I tried it out where I was running Automated Defense on Sword and Board with Dragon Guard on the body, and it worked fine, but even some of the stamina characters that were up close and some of the hard parts, they were getting wiped, getting one-shotted, getting killed by the AoEs and stuff like that. But running Automated Defense, they were able to survive. I noticed that it started allowing the squishies up close underneath the boss's butt to to survive. Just that extra little defense, I guess. So I switched it out. I switched Dragon out for Automated Defense because it really doesn't. We still have great uptime on our ultimate, especially with Blood Spawn rocking. We usually get it back before the ultimate, before it even runs out. This lasts for 10 seconds. We normally get our ultimate back within, somewhere between 8 to 12 seconds. But it's on the lower end of 8 to 9 for the most part. It just depends on how our Blood Spawn wants to proc. Now, the second 5-piece set that we're running is War Machine. Now, you can run Master Architect as well if you don't want to run War Machine, which is just the magic version of this. It's going to give you max magicka and spell damage, but the 3 and the 5-piece stays the same. Gives you max stamina, minor slayer, increasing your damage to dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 5%. Gives us weapon damage, and when you use an ultimate ability, you and the closest 2 allies within 20 meters, you gain major slayer for 10 seconds, increasing your damage done to dungeon, trial, and arena monsters by 15%. Now, with the new set, that was released in the new trial. Let me go down here, pick it up real quick, or pull it up. The tooth set. We'll just go show off the regular one. It gives them people weapon damage, minor Slayer weapon damage. But when they activated Synergy, they gave Major Slayer 15-second increase in damage done to dungeon and trial monsters by 15%. Now, this will not outperform Reliquins on the body, so they're going to want jewelry and weapons. And you know, seeing how I'm a console player and I'm mostly going to be playing on console, I really don't know the drop rate on the daggers and axes for this set. So it could be like AY, where they are just hard to get, or it might be relatively easy. I know War Machine daggers was kind of a pain to get when I was farming for that. It took me quite a few runs and quite a few tries. So I can't. So everybody they might not have this set. You might have a handful of characters, stamina characters, to have this, but they all probably won't have it. So this is at least going to allow us to give Major Slayer still. If all the stamina characters in your group have that set up, then you can drop War Machine. Put on Alkosh, put on Torogs, just run automated on the bottom, you know. But for the most part, if you know the people you're running with, you can gear yourself routinely. So if you know you're running with a stamina character that has that set, or is running War Machine, you can just put on Dragon, or you put on Eben, you know, Plague Doctor, whatever you want to put it on. But anyways, the jewelry is all robust. 2 with magic recovery, 1 with a shield plate enchant, reduced the cost of bash by 304, and the cost of block by 203. We're running infused weapons. We got an ice staff on bucket bar, which will reduce the target's physical and spell resistance by 2.1k. And we're running a weakening enchant, which reduces target weapon damage and spell damage by 226 for 5 seconds on March from bar. The shield is enchanted with a maximum stamina glyph, but again, just like because we're no longer double barring a sword and board, I don't bother to put a tri-stack enchant on my shields anymore. If it had one, then it still has one. If it doesn't, then I just don't worry about it, because there's a drop off and everything instead of just one. So if you don't want ice staffs are pretty good for tanking. You know, it helps with the CC on Nightblades and stuff like that. But if you're going for more damage output and more of a score run, then run a War Machine lightning staff. And to be honest with you, before I even got the sword and stuff like that, the daggers access, I ended up with an ice staff and a lightning staff War Machine. So these will be relatively easy to get, where the sword, the mace is pretty common, but daggers and an axe or a dagger, depending on what you want to run. This can be a pain, but you should be able to get a mace pretty relatively easily. Skills. Front bar, we're running Pierce Armor, which is your basic taunt. Thrust your weapon, dealing damage, taunting them for 15 seconds. Also afflicts enemy with major fracture, major breach, reducing their physical and spell resistance by 5.2k for 12 seconds. Now, gotta say this because I've seen it in a lot of other videos. Major breach, major fracture is something that is needed. Yes, inner fire does, you know, it doesn't do it. You know, heard a lot of people say that inner rage, inner fire will give major breach and major fracture. I guess they took it off. Maybe it used to, but it doesn't anymore. So you definitely need Pierce Armor. There is no other abilities in these lines, that give major fracture and major breach. There just isn't. That I could find. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. But as far as I know, there is not one. So in order to effectively do your job as a tank, which is to hold aggro and debuff the boss. You know, if we're just going to go old school tank where you debuff, keep yourself up, you debuff boss, allow your DPS to do the work, major fracture and major breach really needs to be applied. It's just, it has to be. So, heroic slasher, slash an enemy, reducing their movement speed, also inflicts on minor main, reducing their damage done by 15% for 12 seconds. And you gain minor heroism, granting you 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. This works. This just allows us to spam our ultimates even quicker. A Nord, it's good too for this setup, but I've always ran an Imperial and never had an issue. The Nord would probably make me spamming the ultimate. Probably cut it down from 8 to 12 seconds to probably 7. You know, you can probably get it within 7 to 10 seconds on Nord. So, shield, we're running Bone Surge, which is essentially our shield. because we don't have Ignis Shield or anything like that, so Bone Shield is the best what we have. This is just going to allow us to mitigate some damage. Surround yourself with a whirlwind of bones, gain a damage shield that absorbs 30% of your max health for 6 seconds. And an ally near you can activate the Spinal Surge synergy, granting the ally and up to 3 other friendly targets near them a damage shield that absorbs 56% of their max health for 6 seconds, and Major Vitality, increasing their healing received by 30%. Funnel Health. Steal an enemy's life force, dealing 1.9k magic damage and healing you and 2 other nearby allies 58% of the damage inflicted every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. Now, it's not a lot of a down. It's not really much of a heal. But the reason why we are running that is for our passives in the siphoning line. You know, you want to keep a siphoning ability on both bars. You can even run Melvin Offering, which is basically you sacrificing health to heal an ally. I mean, if you want to go that route as more of a healing tankish Nightblade, you can use this. But Funnel Health, basically, with this transfer, when we cast a Siphon ability, we generate 2 ultimates effectively once every 4 seconds. Soul Siphoner, increase your healing done by 3% for each siphoning ability slotted. So, it's one of the reasons why we're just running that. And we really want it for the transfer. So we're going to spam that every 4 seconds, at least. This one, Absorb Magicka, bolsters your defense, absorbing up to 18.6k damage from your next spell projectile and cast it to you, and healing for 17% of your max health. While you have a shield equipped in this ability slot, the amount of damage you can block is increased by 8%, and the cost of blocking is reduced by 8%. So, we really want to slot it on the front bar. You do not want to slot it on your back bar if you do not have a sword board on your back bar. You want it on your front bar. Soul Harvest. Now this is the ultimate we're spamming. It costs us 68 ultimate. We get that so fast. What this does is that it's going to deal some damage and inflict the enemy with major defile, reducing healing received by and health recovery by 30%. But while slotting, anytime you kill an enemy, you gain 10 ultimate. So we can essentially run into a crowd with their allies and even trash mobs, cast Soul Harvest, smack them. They're going to get War Machine. They're going to get some defenses, so you don't necessarily really have to worry about running around taunting absolutely everything. Just grab the big guys, and they can basically nuke everything. And by the time that they're done nuking that little trash pool, the little trash mobs, you're going to have enough ultimate to basically use this at the start of a boss fight or the next round of mobs. So it just allows us to continuously proc, automate it in War Machine or Master Architect if you're running that over War Machine. So, another one of the reasons why we're able to get this back so fast is because, let me see if I'm in the right slot. I might not be. I am not. It's an assassination. My bad. Was I in the right spot? Hold on. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, right here, Catalyst. After drinking the potion, you gain 20 ultimate. So you're already gaining a third of that back as soon as you pop the potion. So, it works out. And for me, you know, I just pop a trash potion for the most part. You know, you pick them up all the time. Essence of health, essence of stamina, essence of magicka. I'll keep a handful of those trash pots and just pop them. You know, and running the dungeon in itself, I usually replenish my setup. So, back bar. We're running Inner Rage. It's a Magicka morph. So that way we always have a time up available. You know, if you're running low on stamina, you know, you can't really cast this, or you don't want to cast it because you want to be able to use it for your shield or whatever. Inner Rage is a Magicka morph that basically allows us to still get a taunt on the enemy. Blockade of Frost. Slam your staff down to create an ice barrier in front of you, dealing 1k frost damage to enemies in the target area every 1 second, reducing their movement speed by 40%. Jailed enemies become frozen or immobilized for 4 seconds. The reason why we're running an ice staff because of the fact that it allows us to CC the enemy. I mean, it's about the only CC we can get on the Nightblade tank outside of the Psijic skill line. In the Psijic skill line, we get time freeze. You know, they got doubled, but due to the passives within this, within the Psijic skill lines, reduces the cost of Psijic order abilities by 15%. It's still manageable at 6k, so you could definitely run it. You could probably, if you have a good solid healer that you know, you could probably take off Dark Cloak and put it there if you want to, if you're running the Lightning Staff. Or if you're really having no problems with sustaining, you can always take off Siphoning Attack, because I mean, it's in the skill line here, and the only thing it really does on your back bar is just gives you 3% more healing done. So, it's not going to necessarily do a whole lot, so if you wanted to, you could definitely put time freeze right there in that slot. But that is up to you. Refreshing Path. Create a corridor of shadows granting you and allies in a major expedition. Increase your movement speed by 30%. Effect persists for 4 seconds after leaving path, healing you for 880 health to you and your allies every 1 second. Now, another reason why we were running this is because in our shadows there, we don't have an ability that gives us major ward or major resolve. But in our passives there, when we cast a shadow ability, grants you major resolve, major ward for 6 seconds, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 5.2k. This duration is increased by 25% for each piece of heavy armor equipped. Current bonus is 125%, and it lasts for 13.5 seconds. So, you can make this last longer to where you have to cast it like once every 20 seconds if you run a heavy shoulder and heavy helmet. But if you want more your stats are going to drop due to your Undaunted passive not wearing the 5-1-1 setup. But if you want to go all 7, this could definitely, it'll last for 20 seconds. I think it's like 21 seconds. So essentially, character sheet right now. We're 18.3 and 19.3 on our back bar. Sword and board is 20k and 20.1. So, we'll cast this. Switch back. Resistance 25.3 and physical is 26.3. And then 23.5 and 24.6. And with Blood Spawn product, we're right there. We're at cap. So. Now, Dark Cloak. Shroud yourself in protective shadow to heal for 2.5k every 1 second over 8 seconds. This portion of the ability scales off your max health. You gain minor protection while shrouded, reducing your damage taken by 8%. So this is going to help us reduce our damage taken, and it's going to give us a nice little heal. So just pop it every 8 seconds or so. Even if you don't need the health, just pop it. It's going to give you minor protection. Siphon attack. Imbue your weapon with soul-stealing powers, causing your light and heavy attacks to heal you for 1.6k health and restore 106 magicka for 20 seconds. Fully charged heavy attacks restore twice the value. Restore up to 4.2k additional magicka when the effect ends, based on the length of time siphoning attacks was active. So you want to try to keep this up. You want to let this all run out. You can run the stamina morph as well if you're having trouble, but with getting shards and orbs and things like that, we shouldn't have any issues maintaining our stamina. And so this just will allow us to, because this is magicka, magicka. That whole back bar is magicka. And then this right here as well uses magicka. So we have, a rogue slash and pierce armor, and our shield is all stamina, and the rest is magicka. So we still want our stamina higher than our magicka pool though, so that way we can constantly keep our stamina for blocking and stuff like that. But this right here will just allow us to basically cast the other spells that we need to in order to use them. Aggressive Horn. Sound a war horn to rally your forces, increasing you and your allies max magicka and max stamina by 10% for 30 seconds. You and your allies gain major force, increasing your crit damage done by 15% for 9 seconds. This is just going to increases the damage of your group, gives them more resource pools, means more damage. So I usually use this to start the fight. I'm usually the first one to cast war horn, and then on the rotation, I'm usually 4th. And I'm just using Soul Harvest after that. So that way I'm not really necessarily need it. So I'll be the first one, and then I'll just continue to pop Soul Harvest after that. So that is it for the skills. I've already went over champion points. Armor, like I said, if you don't want to farming Halls of Fabrication for the sword and board and the stabs, you're pretty much going to farm up your automated defense body pieces, like without a doubt. But if you don't necessarily want to use one or the other, Dragon Guard, it's a pretty good setup to use. It definitely reduces the cost of your ultimates, or you can go Dragon Guard and Plague Doctor is a good setup as well. If you're just learning how to tank on a Nightblade, all that will work out pretty nice. Blood Spawn, you can use Lord Warden for more defense if you find yourself, the ultimate isn't really that big of a port and you're finding yourself getting it back. You can always go Lord Warden for more defense. You can go Engine Guardian for more resource management, but it's a 50-50 chance, well, 30% chance really. You can get one of either one. It doesn't restore all stats anymore. Well, not really anymore, but you'll either get magicka, health, or stamina back from Engine Guardian. So, but Lord of Warden, Blood Spawn are definitely two I would go with on a Nightblade tank. But yeah, I think it pretty much covers everything. So until next time, y'all have a great day.